Welcome, everybody, to the Alexyss K. Tylor Vagina Power Show. This is, I think, our fourth meeting for the weekly mastermind group for the Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, dealing with the laws of prosperity. We're going to go through Napoleon Hill's book, the whole book, on Think and Grow Rich. And I'm just glad that you all wanted to do this and wanted to be a part of the mastermind group. We have, I guess the past couple of weeks I've mentioned, Chapter 3, I think last week I actually read the first part of Chapter 3 of Think and Grow Rich. And if you don't have it, you can actually go on Google and put in Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich PDF file, and you will be able to pull up the book on a PDF file. Y'all, I don't know what's going on, but I've been trying to get into my chat room, and I haven't been able to get into my chat room, so I don't know if anybody is here or if anybody is listening, but you can actually download the PDF and listen to it, or you can read along with us, because I like to read the book, and I like for the people to read along with me. And I was also letting everybody know that there is an audio book. The same book is on audio on YouTube. So you can actually go to YouTube and you can type in Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich or Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and you will see that the book comes up, the audio file for the book. So that is really good because you can listen to it, actually download it, put it on your iPod or download it to your computer and listen to your computer if you don't have a lot of time to really just focus on reading a book. 'Cause I know a lot of times people are so busy that they can't always sit still and read all the excerpts of the book. That's why I like to read it with you. So I'm going to try. I keep trying to get into the chat. I'm having a problem getting into the chat. I was in it maybe 30 minutes ago, and I clicked refresh, and it kicked me out, and I've been trying to get back in. I don't even see my switchboard, so I'm going to see, can I pull this up again? Or you might want to listen on the phone. But also, I wanted to keep it open today. I wanted to read some questions because some people sent me some questions. So it's going to be kind of a light show today. I've had a heavy week. I'm a little bit exhausted, so I don't have a lot of fire and brimstone to bring today. I've really been doing a lot of studying and recouping. So I wanted to read some questions from the audience before I got into the Thinking to Grow Rich, because some people sent me questions and they wanted me to address them on the show. And one listener sent me a question about diet and parasites. He was saying he went to the health food store. He got his parasite cleaner, and he wanted to know what now. And basically what I was saying to him, if he got the parasite cleaner, he should get a formula. I know he got wormwood. Wormwood by itself is not enough. You should get a formula that has more than wormwood, because there's wormwood, there's black walnut, wormwood, and cloves. So to be most effective to kill the mother, the baby worm, and the egg, you want to get black walnut, wormwood, and cloves, and even a formula that has more things like cayenne and garlic and pumpkin seed. Those are also herbs that you can use for foods or to season foods as well that will kill worms. So, and it's also very important to change your diet, because he said he was very skinny or very thin. So he knew that changing his diet and going on a parasite cleanse will make you lose weight. Well, that's exactly what happened to me, because I've been on a straight worm cleanse since February, because I actually saw some come out of my body, and I knew then if they're coming out and I'm seeing them as big as they were, that means I had a serious worm infestation, just a lot of filth and toxins in my body that was making it comfortable for them to be able to live and grow so big. So I noticed I had to cut out a lot of junk, a lot of sugar. I stopped eating out at restaurants, stopped drinking anything sweet. I can't even remember the last time I had a glass of sweet tea. Don't drink soft drinks. I really had to go cold turkey with all the white sugar. I stopped eating fried foods, stopped eating anything with flour in it, no deep fried stuff. All the main stuff I liked was eating French fries every day. I can't do that because that's the kind of diet that feeds worms. Anything with a low oxygen, low nutrient diet that's rich in a lot of white sugar, white flour, a lot of fast food, a lot of junk. I don't know what it is, but I keep trying to get in the chat room. I cannot get in the chat room. The window opens, but nothing will show up. So I don't know if anybody's here already, anybody's listening to me online on the telephone or in the chat room. I'll keep trying to get in there. But you have to really go cold turkey on anything that you know is feeding worms. And if it's processed food, anything that can't break down, anything that's not naturally made, dealing with a lot of sugar, even natural sugar, it's best to get rid of it right now, to cut it out of your diet. You eat too much fruit that has a lot of sugar in it, then, or a lot of brown sugar even, or a lot of brown flour or rice products or bread products, and you know you're having a worm problem, you can't clean yourself out, then you're not helping yourself at all. So you have to go cold turkey. You have to replace the negative things in your diet with positive foods. You have to have a lot of greens, even fish and chicken. Just make sure you know where it comes from, or if it's organically raised. You can have meat, but I would say no pork because pork is filthy. If you just study that animal, I even saw this show with some pigs on there, on a pig farm, and they were actually shitting and rolling around their own shit, rolling around their own mud, even eating it. Those are some very, very filthy animals, and I can't understand why anybody would expect to eat a pig and not have worms or filth in their body because of the way they live, the way they eat. They eat anything. They're filthy. They eat garbage. They're like a walking trash can. So how can you not expect to have trash in your body just because they look good and they taste good and, you know, you have barbecue sauce on them, it's been smoked. You think that's killing all of the parasites? No, some of those parasites can still live. They can be inside of the eggs and still live. After you've cooked that meat under extreme pressure, they can still live. You chew the meat up, and it gets into your intestine, and then the worms open up when they get into your intestine and start hatching, actually attaching to your intestine walls and making a home in your intestine. So that's why it's important to know these things when you're going on a parasite cleanse, actually know what your diet is, what your situation is like, what your body system is like to determine what diet is right for you. I'm just wondering if anybody in the chat, because I'm still trying to open up the chat. Nothing will come up. Also, this same person asked me about dimensions, and it ties into what we're talking about today because we're dealing with, and pull this book up, Think and Grow Rich. And when you're dealing with prosperity or poverty, you are also dealing with a consciousness, a state of mind. Because the way you think or don't think determines where you go and where you don't go. So that's why I think it was an appropriate question to ask me about what is the first, second, and third dimension. Wait a minute, let me get somebody just grow rich. Somebody just sent me an email, so I guess I'm not the only one that's having this problem. Let me see. It says I don't know what's up. I logged in, signed in early for your show, but could not hear you. So when I logged out and searched for you, I can now hear you. Oh, okay, good. So you can hear. Okay, think and grow rich. Because I can't see it all. And I'm wondering, every time I click on the chat box, it's just a white box, and nothing's coming up. But I'll just do what I can. And I wanted to get into auto-suggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. Now, that sounds pretty good. Page 58, auto-suggestion, a medium from conditioning the subconscious mind. I think, what is that, page 48? Because I know I didn't finish chapter 3 last week. I think I got to I read 10 pages, and then I stopped, and I know that in between that you guys are supposed to read the rest of the chapter. Even if I read the chapter, you're supposed to read it over. And this is something I want to remind you. When you read these books, this is not something you read one time and say, oh, okay, I read it, I finished it, I don't need to look at it anymore, I put it down. Because there are a lot of mental assignments. There's a lot of homework in here. When you read a chapter, you should marinate on that chapter and then reread that chapter again and do whatever it is they told you to do in that chapter. Because I have to do the same thing. And I'm probably going to go over, I'm looking at page, this is 44, 45, because there are some steps here that they're giving. Because I know one paragraph, one small paragraph, it says, thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotions constitute a magnetic force which attracts from the vibrations of the ether other similar or related thoughts. And it says a self-confidence formula. That's on page 45. So we need to go over that self-confidence formula. And it ties into the question that the man sent me today and asked about what is the first, second, and third dimensions. And he was saying, I believe that I'm in the third dimension. And I thought about that, and I said, well, exactly what's your question? I wish he would call in and actually talk to me, because I told him I was going to address the question today, because I wanted to be clear exactly what does he mean when he's asking me about what is the third dimension, because I want to make sure that I can answer his question effectively and that I could just be clear about what he's saying, because many people, it's like, yes, this is the third dimensional realm as far as where you can see bodies, the vibration slowing down on a body, where you can actually visualize the body, and it looks like it's really a hologram. Our cells are hollow in the inside. They look like they're solid, but they're really not solid, and we're made of gases, as well as atoms. We have subatomic particles, that create atoms, and the atoms create cells, and then the cell will start to replicate each other, and they make a tissue, and that tissue turns into an organ, and then you get organs, and they turn into body systems. So those body systems are like a holographic projection that you see in the third dimensional realm that looks like a person. But when you're looking at something and you're saying, well, I am in the third dimension, you have to look at, okay, what part of you is in the third dimension? Because you have vibrating bodies that are part of your body that is projecting or appearing in the third dimensional realm that are not a part of the third dimensional realm, although they are attached to the holographic projection of the third dimensional body. And the third dimensional world that you perceive around you is literally floating in space. It's moving. So that's what a lot of us need to be aware of. The world we're living in is fake, and it's hollow. It just seems like it's solid, and it seems like it's real. And a lot of us think that's the only life that we know. That's the only world that we have, because that's the one that we can register and identify in our mind. So a lot of times people will only believe what they see. But what I'm trying to get you to see and know is simultaneously you are in more than one dimension. So when you're saying, well, I think I am, or I know that I am in the third dimension, people need to realize that you have a group of subtle bodies. So it's like I would really have to do a whole video, a whole lecture on this the way that I see it, because I will say that the way I see it is different than a lot of people teach it, or the way that they know it, or they perceive it, or the way they've read it in books. And to be honest with you, the information that I bring to you, I don't read other people's books. I don't get other people's definition of what different reality realms are, because they will tell you that the third dimensional realm is low, And then when you go to the fourth dimensional realm, that's going to be higher. Like they say, we're moving in the age of Aquarius. We're moving to a fourth dimensional realm. We're shifting from a third dimensional body. And the fourth dimensional realm is mental. And then you go to the fifth dimensional realm, and you get higher in the sixth dimensional realm and the seventh dimension. And it would be the same as saying when you go into a first chakra. Some of them move higher and some of them move lower. Okay, for instance, the first chakra, they say, which this is not true based on the information I'm given, the first chakra will be the root chakra, which is in your body, that's at your tailbone. The second chakra is where your vagina and your penis and testicles is. The third chakra is right above that, but like underneath your belly button. The fourth one would be your solar plexus. The fifth one would be your heart. The sixth chakra is in your throat, right where the hole is. The fifth is right there where your hole is in your throat, dealing with speech and communication. The sixth one is what they call your third eye. That's right in between your two third-dimensional eyes that you can see. And the seventh one is at the top of your head or your crown. And the eighth chakra is right above your head. The ninth chakra is right a little bit more higher above your head. And the 10th chakra is higher above your head. And they go on into infinity. Those chakras never end. So that's what I'm saying. It's like in that third dimension in your body, they're saying the first chakra is at your tailbone. So actually that first chakra is in the third dimension or projecting in the third dimension or located in the third dimensional realm that is in the third dimensional projection of the body. However, there's a different scale when you're dealing with dimensions that also controls your mind. And there are different dimensions of thought. Because remember, as we had said earlier, each letter of the alphabet has a vibration. It has a tone. And that tone and that vibration has a frequency. So the frequency can be high or the frequency can be low, and the frequency could just be kind of neutral or in between, not high, not low, just kind of there, just kind of flat line. So each letter has that alphabet, has a vibration of the frequency. Then you put the letters together to create words. So the words that you speak that have a vibration also have a frequency that's high, low, or mediocre. Then you put those words together and create sentences, or just the word itself has a thought behind the word. And that thought behind the word also has a mental image, a picture that you created behind the word. And what drives that is not only the image, but also the emotion, whether it's emotion of love, pleasure, pain, passion, sex, rage, anger, jealousy, envy, desire, faith, or doubt, low self-esteem, or confidence. These emotions actually will, and the picture that you have in your mind based on the word associated with the emotion in the picture, will drive that thought out and that desire and the emotions attached to it into whatever dimension that your mind is vibrating on to lock into the same dimension of like minds in the cosmic universe, but also in the collective consciousness of those people that are vibrating on that frequency, and then cause it to reanimate itself, and then they act as a mirror or a cosmic mirror to reflect back into your experience everything that you are projecting out. So really it's like let's say like you're in a swimming pool and you're playing volleyball in a swimming pool. So you're throwing the ball over the net. They hit it and throw it right back to you. Then you throw it back to them, and they're like, you take it. And they keep throwing it back and forth. You go back and forth, back and forth. That's the same thing that we do with thoughts, and the same thing we do in all those thoughts are registering in dimensions. So I guess I'm trying not to be confusing. I guess maybe I'm trying to be as clear as I can. That's why I wish the person that sent me the question would call in, because I'm trying to say that when you're in one dimension, or you're saying you're in the third dimension, which are frequencies and vibrations and thoughts, and it's either a slowed down vibration or an increased vibration to determine how you manifest or if you appear or not. You're never in one dimension at a time, because you have so many dimensions. You have so many different bodies. You have a mental body, an emotional body, a spiritual body, an astral body, a casual body. You have all of these bodies that are made of electromagnetic energy fields. And not only are they made of electromagnetic energy fields, within the field, you're dealing with mathematical codes that drive the electromagnetic particles in the field. They all contain numbers. And those are like dimensions or higher realms that a lot of people will say, well, that's the 7th, 8th, or 9th dimension. That's the 7th or 8th body. But sometimes it depends. Like I said, one scale will go up, but there's another scale that goes down. So a number 1 dimension could also be manifesting as a thought form or a thought pattern that might not be physical, but it can still be physical. It will be manifesting in the third dimension. Do you see what I'm saying? You can have a third dimensional body, but also have an aspect of one of your bodies while you are manifesting in the third dimension to also be manifesting itself in the 5th dimension. So that's why you'll see a lot of people manifesting higher and lower characteristics at the same time. You'll see somebody that is a crackhead, and when they smoke crack, they see all kinds of metaphysical and magnificent shit, and they will see their grandmama walking across the wall, and they will be able to describe her. They will be able to read you and see things about yourself, and you're like, how the hell did this crackhead know that? Because they are manifesting simultaneously in different dimensions. Because many times when people get high or when they get drunk, sometimes their spiritual bodies or their astral bodies will pop out of the third dimensional body, and they'll actually move up, or they'll move down into another dimension. Because many times when people get high, they see different beings that are terrorizing them that they don't want to see, or they do awful things to themselves, or they cut themselves up or jump off a building when they take a particular drug, because the being appeared from another dimension that might be higher and lower at the same time, because other people couldn't see the being, but this person saw the being and heard the being tell them, you can fly. You're Superman. Go over there and put your cape on, go up to the 5th floor, jump off the fucking building, because you got it like that. You can damn fly. And they will go, jump off the building, into ongoing traffic down in the street and bust their damn brains out. Because a dimension, a being, was in a higher and yet a lower dimension at the same time that told them to kill themselves, or that they surely wouldn't die if they jumped off the building because they could fly. And their emotions and their thought pattern and everything they were feeling, all the chemicals moving through their body, made them really believe that they had the ability to be able to take flight. So that's why I was saying I wish the caller would call in, because a lot of times when I see things, I don't always see it the way people see it. There's always some type of there's a contradiction, and a lot of the information, the way that it's set up, and we don't always get a very clear picture. You just say, oh, people will tell you, well, it's cut and dry. You're in this dimension, and because you're in the third dimension, that's all there is here. That's all that you can see. What I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes, well, not sometimes, but all the times, the worlds, they are connected. So in their fluid, like water, so it's just like you're in a swimming pool again. You get in the baby pool, and that's 2 feet, and then you go up 3 feet, and you go up 5 feet, and you go up to the 10 feet, where everything's very deep. But if you notice, the pool is connected. There was never a separation in the stream of consciousness of the pool. You didn't have to get out of the 3 feet and then walk over to a second pool to get into the 5 feet. You didn't have to climb out of the 5 feet to go jump into the 10 feet. Especially when you look at the long Olympic pools or just a regular swimming pool. It's a graduation. It's a constant fluid shift from one extreme to the other. Now, if you're starting at the 3 feet and then you just dive down into the 10 feet, you're usually going to have a problem because you have not taken the normal progression. You haven't graduated from the baby pool into the deep water. Now, there's really no difference other than one is deeper than the other. But a lot of times people are extremely shocked when they're in a 3-foot pool of water. You can see your feet, and it usually comes to the middle of your leg or your waist, depending on how tall or how short you are. So you feel safe. I can fall in this pool of water, and I won't drown. Nothing will happen to me. But it's the same principle in the 3 feet that applies in the 10 feet. If you go under the water, you still need to hold your breath. You need to be able to be calm, control the amount of breath that you have while you're underwater, and be able to, in order to swim successfully under the water. A lot of times when people go into the 10-foot side of the pool, they think that now the rules have changed, and because the water is deeper, they panic, they become very afraid that the water is deeper, and that if you go underwater there, you're not going to be able to survive, or there's a different principle. The principle has not changed. But if you panic, neither has your stream of consciousness changed. And that's the problem. That's why you choke or you drown or you can't hold your breath as long, because there was no fluidity. Your mind wasn't fluid, and you didn't make the natural shift from the 3-foot to the 10-foot, because the laws of attraction are still the same. But many times we experience a lot of turbulence going from the very low level of being poor and then becoming rich, or wanting to attract them and having the difficulty, and coming from lower, having nothing at all, to trying to achieve everything. And we think that it's some other kind of problem, or that it's so hard, or this is impossible to do. But a lot of times it's the turbulence in our minds and the resistance to having wealth when we've never had it, or the fear of having it, or the fear of fitting in, or the fear of belonging, or the fear of failure, or how can I do this? How can I make this happen? I mean, yes, we have to know the principles of economics and money management, deciding what we want to do and how we want to do it. But it's the same principle. It's the same thing as having principles of failure. A lot of us don't really think about that. But you have to follow a certain group of principles if you want to stay poor. If you want to live in poverty, if you want to be a loser, if you want to be a coward, you know that there is a principle to making that happen. There are certain rules and regulations that you have to follow to be a goddamn loser. There's even rules and regulations you have to follow to be a damn junkie. There's a code of ethics for being a damn alcoholic. There's rules and regulations to be a damn child molester. I mean, you know, or being in and out of jail. And people think, well, you know, what's special about that? You don't really have to do anything. You just don't work. You don't go to school. You don't develop yourself. Bam. Okay, those are some rules. That's a principle right there. That's the frequency that you have to be on. There's a certain type of mentality and the attitude you have to be a fucking loser. And if you get up every day and you follow those principles and you follow those rules and regulations, every day you're going to be a loser, a coward, a goddamn junkie, and a failure, because every realm that you deal with has a mentality to it. And all the mentalities and the thoughts around it have a frequency to them. So that's what I'm trying to show you the same example of when you're in the 3 feet and when you're in the 10 feet. And a lot of people don't think about that. They don't realize that in every level, from the very lowest, living in a cardboard box, to the very highest, living in a mansion, to get from one extreme to the other, there are really not a whole bunch of gaps in between. It just looks like there are gaps in between because there are divisions in people's minds that say, well, I can't talk to her because she's a junkie and she's poor. And then somebody wealthy saying, well, I can't talk to them and they can't be invited to the party because they're not on this list or they're not in this particular bloodline or they're not in this family. Those are the only divisions. And many times we live in poverty and bondage and we're afraid to succeed or go into a certain realm because somebody has created a mindset to make you feel that you don't belong there. But when you look at, again, dimensions, and when you look at frequencies and the thoughts that you've connected to a particular frequency and the vibration associated with it, then you jam up the circuits in your mind. And the things that you want to manifest to take you out of the realm that you're not happy in, they don't manifest themselves. And you think that it's somebody else that's doing this to you, or somebody acting on you, or some force outside of yourself that you can't control acts on you, but it's really you acting on yourself. You going within the confines of your own mind, not understanding and overstanding the power that you have in your own mind that actually causes you to cancel your own self out, to sabotage your own self, your own frequency, and as well as what I said earlier with the mother-daughter drama, the daddy drama, some of us even have a lot of brother and sister drama that we're dealing with that we can't let go of, that we think we have to be victims, we have to be dominated and abused by people. And then you wonder, well, why this didn't happen or why that didn't happen, and you try so hard because we have not been taught to study the patterns in our minds and the frequency in our mind and the dimension that your mind is focusing on and who and what is in that dimension and what they are saying to you. Just like I talked about in the last time, the entity projection, the entity creation in your mind. You have to do this. This is very important. If you want to save yourself, you want to save your life, you want to change the behaviors that you're involved in that have kept you where you are, that you don't like, and you have a hard time raising up from that place. We think that it's other people that is doing that to us, and it's not other people doing that to us. It's us doing that to ourselves because many times we don't know the garbage that we have in our mind. We don't know the thought patterns that we have in our mind because sometimes the stuff is so deep in our subconscious, but our conscious mind is not tapping into it. We're not meditating. We're not really writing and journaling and thinking about our past and how it's contributed to our present and looking at the things that we don't like in our lives now, looking at the people. We might not like their behaviors, but we will tolerate them, we will adjust, and we will deal with them even though we know we're not happy, even though we know we're not getting what we want. We'll keep them in our life anyway. These are the kind of things that you need to look at, and you need to realize that if you grew up and you had a poverty-filled life, and these kinds of people were there and they put you down or terrorized you and abused you and they left you hanging and made you feel unimportant. Then you grew up and you're still dealing with them. Their attitudes are still the same. You never cleaned out the subconscious mind. So basically you have got a cesspool. You got a backed up septic system that's in your subconscious mind that keeps on backing up, pushing up waste in your subconscious mind in the form of negative thoughts, negative emotions, and negative ideas when it comes to you and your success and your belief that you're worthy of having the success. And then you have the people around. And what we don't realize, most of us don't realize, is that if we still have these people around, these mothers, these fathers, anybody in our family, and we see them manifesting a lifestyle where they can never, ever rise above any poverty or miserable relationships, where we have mothers and fathers still together, don't even sleep together, and have separate lifestyles, but they just stay together for the sake of the family or to keep the name together. Feel like we've been together so long, we might as well leave it this way and just do our own thing and nobody will know. They are subconsciously giving you a picture of failure when it comes to love and relationships, and they're living in denial. And also they're telepathically projecting through their energy fields and through the different dimensions of their mind, because they couldn't make their magic happen. Or when they made it happen, they couldn't keep it. They couldn't sustain it. They got it and lost it. People, although they might not say it with their mouths, they're still projecting a limited type of manifestation of the creation that they've always dreamt of. Or you hear them talk about how they should have did this or they wanted to be that. Now they're 50 and 60 years old, fat, teeth out, got motherfucking athlete's fungus and shit around their goddamn toenail. Still can't make their magic happen. All they do is make fucked up shit happen, or life acts on them because they won't act on life. These things become subliminal programs and telepathic programs that can actually hinder you and keep you locked in a certain realm. And what you don't realize is they start triggering different entity projections in your mind and different auto-suggestion in your mind. Many of us are being hypnotized, and we don't even know it. That's why it's so important that you watch what your children look at on TV, you watch what they listen to on the radio, what kind of songs they sing repeatedly, and you listen to what you're listening to on the TV. Monitor it when you're watching, constantly thinking, because some people become hypnotized, and they know when they put these television shows on, there's certain colors that they will put on in the background for you, certain images, subliminal images and programming with food, beauty standards, clothes, different attitudes they want to create in your mind. They want to shift and control your mind. So they know that once you start watching something based on the rate of speed the music is playing, or how they slow it down, or what type of music or what type of emotion they want to provoke inside of you, after a certain amount of minutes, when you're watching a TV show or when you're watching a movie, your brain is going to go into autopilot, and you're going to go into a state of hypnosis. You're going to hypnotize yourself. And many people watching TV, they get so wrapped up in a program or show, you forget what time it is, you forget where you're at, what you're doing, you forget anybody else is in the house, you forget your food's burning, you forget you need to go outside, get somebody in your car, roll your window up, lock your door, because there's certain programs or something you're listening to, or a person that you're mesmerized by or fascinated by, has hypnotized you through the television or through a song. And while you are in that state of being so engulfed by somebody else or something else, your subconscious is off guard. Yeah, guess what? It's off guard. Now you become a slave. You become a victim. You become a servant of whoever or whatever you're watching and that you're listening to. And because you have no guards up, because you're not thinking and you're hypnotized and everything is moving along and they're just pouring this like you're pouring sugar in a cup of coffee. They're just pouring it, and they decide how much they're going to pour in because you can't stop it because you're hypnotized. You're not on guard. You're not thinking about what's going into your head. You're not analyzing anything that's being said. You're not even analyzing the reason you're watching the program and what is the deeper meaning behind this even being displayed. You're not even checking to see if there's any subliminal codes or images that you're missing. Just like they practiced and did an experiment, and I think it's 40s, 50s, 60s. They're probably even still doing it now. In a movie theater, you're watching commercials before the movie comes on, And there's a big, cold, frosty glass of ice-cold Coca-Cola with the water beating up on the outside of the red glass with the white Coca-Cola, or the white glass with the white Coca-Cola words, and you see the brown cola, and it's sizzling, it's bubbling, it's popping all the acid is popping all out of the top of the glass, and you see big chunks of ice popping up to the surface of the Coca-Cola, and somebody drinks it, or you just see it sitting there all icy and chilly, and then you see some jelly beans and hot buttery popcorn, and then they put subliminals that you don't see and say, don't you want a nice ice cold glass of Coca-Cola and hot buttery popcorn and some jelly beans? And pretty soon people are jumping up, digging in their pocket, paying $5 for a bucket of popcorn, $3 for a Coca-Cola, $2 for a bottle of water, and you think this is natural, right? Because you haven't monitored what is in your subconscious mind, what has been programmed into your subconscious mind. You know, I'm still wondering, you guys, I have not been able to get into my chat. I don't know if anybody's listening to this show. I don't know if anybody tried to go into the chat room, because every time I open the box for the chat room, it's just a white screen and nothing is here. The chat room does not appear. So I'm wondering, one person emailed me and they said they can hear my voice, but I don't know if they were able to get into the chat. So I don't know if anybody's here. Can anybody let me know if they are in the chat room? I just want to know that I'm not talking to myself, or I don't know if anybody is on the telephone, because I'm just wondering, why can I not get in the chat room today? And these are the things that we have to look at, what is in our deep mind. And that's one of the homework assignments that I'll ask you to do. I hope that you all have started to journal and look at yourself, look at the things you've gone through, look at your background, to really know, because you have to know yourself, and you have to be true to yourself before you can know anyone else and be true to them and be the best lover, friend, and confidant to anyone else. You have to know what is in your mind, and the thing that we have to do is look at what we're attracting that we don't like in our experience. As a form of jobs, relationships, friends, we have a lot of confrontations, we have a lot of aggressive people, we have a lot of passive people, we have a lot of victims in our life. We have to look at them and see if they are mirrors of us, why they are in our experience. What is it, especially if we are not letting them go, if we're not trying to let them go? We have to look at the value or the need that we have for those people to show up in our experience repeatedly. Because many times you will see a different person, but they will be carrying the same issue of the person that you just released, or the person that just left your world, which tells me you haven't released them. If you continue to have the same kind of people, but they have different bodies, they came from different places, but they are manifesting the same energy, and they're manifesting the same experience of the person that just left, that means that you haven't let them go. There is some unresolved conflict about the issue surrounding that type of person with that type of mindset that you haven't worked out within your own mind, because if it were worked out, it wouldn't appear. And that's what we need to realize. When we have grown from one level to another, when we have gotten past a certain level, then things don't show up in our world, and when they show up, they don't stay. So that's why I'm saying that when we see other people that are coming into our life and showing us things we say we don't want to see, saying things to us we say we don't want to hear, that's when we must go within our own mind and try to look at the frequency and the vibration in our own mind, because we are the power source. We are the electromagnetic grid, and many of us don't want to believe, oh, okay, thank you, Sandra. So you're saying that you are in chat and you see people in chat. I had no idea that the chat was up. I can't get in there. I just tried to get in there. I keep trying every few minutes to get in there. And I don't know why. I don't know if maybe I need to shut the switchboard down, and come back in. Let me try. Let me just go on a music break. Diva X, Ghetto, All Guest, Jade, Live, Songstress. I'm trying to move this thing down. It is so wonderful to see. Hey, Mel. Where have you been? We missed you. I needed a break. Well, you know, it was just a few days ago. Hello from the UK. It's so beautiful to see you all here. Thank you so much. You know, I put everything up on YouTube. Everything that I do here, I put it up on YouTube. Hey, Mickey034, thank you for coming. No, that's Jill Scott. She's hot worldwide. She's not just an internet celebrity neither. She's worldwide. I'm glad to see you here because I didn't know anybody was here. Hey, Lid, L-I-D-D-Z. I don't know. I want to make sure I pronounce that right. I appreciate everybody for coming. Jayla, I'm sorry. Y'all, please tell me. I don't want to mess up your names at all. Does anybody, do you have the book? And did you get to look at Think and Grow Rich? Hello from Brooklyn. Jelani, that's so beautiful. Jelani from Brooklyn. I'm honored that you came. It's wonderful to have you here. I love having so much positive people in the room. And I definitely, these shows have inspired me, and I appreciate you all having Jelani, thank you, that's beautiful. You inspire me and encourage me when I've been going through my own stuff the past couple of weeks and regurgitating a lot of pain, a lot of constipation, spiritual, mental, emotional constipation, things that I need to get out, things that I needed to deal with. And I'm glad that you all are doing the same thing. You all have inspired me, and I'm glad that I've inspired you to work on dealing with the laws of attraction and thinking and growing rich, and realizing that all of this starts with our mental and emotional state of mind, or a lack. Okay, we listen to your audio on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening today, because you know what? I even listened to that because I realized stuff that I was doing wrong. And, hey, the shady lady, I'm honored that you're here. I realized that I was holding myself back in a lot of areas, and I was holding in. I want you all to do something, too, holding it into your body, because a lot of us don't realize how much stuff we hold in our body. Yeah, it is mental food, and you all help me think, and you help me heal. You help me grow so that I can bring the things to you, all the bad things that I've learned. Hi, Black Lion. Thank you for coming over to the show. I know you from Nikki's show, so I appreciate you coming to my show, because I know this is like my show is really not like Nikki's show. I deal more with, of course, I'm conscious and I'm all about the community, but I realize, too, in our community we're so powerful, we're so spiritual, but we have a lot of spiritual sexual blocks, and our people don't realize how sexuality ties into spirituality and how spirituality ties into sexuality. So this is my niche, and I'm seeing how it ties into finances, relationships, politics, and economics. So if you have anybody that comes over here that wants to talk about, the Hebrew Israelite, the Moors, anything that's dealing with consciousness in Africa, I welcome them to the show, because I want to mix everything into the show. I got some more powerful shows coming up, too, dealing with erasing things off of the credit, how to change if you're going through foreclosure, how to stop foreclosure, how to stop losing your house, how to rebuild your credit, how to buy a house. So I'm all about incorporating everything, 360 degrees of ourself, our mind, our body, and our spirit, to balance it, as well as to wake us up. But when I was talking about auto-suggestion and subliminal programming, we don't realize when we're looking at movies and when we're watching the television, we're always being seduced and we're always being hypnotized. So we need to realize that, so we can start. I want y'all to start studying this. I want you to start catching it and see if you are being hypnotized and seduced by a particular program that you are watching, because many of us don't know that 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week, through billboards, through cars, through clothes, through radio commercials, through songs, through different advertisements, through different television shows that are projected towards a certain market, through certain types of alcohol, through certain types of cigarettes, on shoes. I mean, everything on every level is a program where you are being seduced to conform to a certain image, to set yourself up to basically be a slave and be a consumer, or to even have sex practices a certain way and have a certain level of spirituality and to dumb yourself down, to numb, and we don't even realize that that is what is happening to us. And because we are so powerful, and we realize now, I'm trying to get you to see that our power has been used against us, and that numbing down and that dumbing down actually pulls you further away from your soul. So when the man was asking me about the first dimension, the second dimension, and the third dimension, thinking he's just in the third dimension because he's in a third-dimensional body, what he's not realizing that is that he's pulled so far out of himself and further away from his power source that he cannot tap into the fourth, fifth, the sixth, the higher vibrations and the higher spiritual realm, because he's lost to that knowledge. He's not aware of the knowledge, and he's constantly being hypnotized and pulled down. So that's why it's so important for us to look at, when I start on page 45, the self-confidence formula, and then going into chapter 4, dealing with auto-suggestion. Because when you're dealing with auto-suggestion, that's based on the hypnosis, the thoughts that are already in your subconscious mind that are starting to feed the conscious mind. Because that's what we need to realize about the subconscious mind. It does not know right from wrong. It doesn't think. All it is a 360-degree tape recorder. It's constantly recording, and once it records, it's constantly regurgitating. It's like a pool of consciousness that we've created. Now, when you deal with the original God source, like the God consciousness of the subconscious mind, it is a continuous stream of consciousness. Just like I was saying, when you're in a swimming pool and you have to, if you're afraid to move from the 3 feet to the 10 feet, or you don't have to physically climb up out of the 3 feet to go into the 10 feet, it's a continuous stream. So you can swim down, gradually swim down from the 3 feet to the 10, or just make a continuous glide down nonstop from the 3 feet to the 10 feet, and be comfortable there by realizing the laws that you practice in the 3 feet are the same laws that you apply in the 10 feet. You only create turbulence and you create shifts and you fail or you panic and you think you're going to drown in the 10 feet because there was some type of conflict and contradiction in your mind. So there could not be a constant stream of consciousness moving from one state to another because it's all fluid. So the same thing with your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is a continuing infinite pool of God consciousness. And it's usually clean. It's very clear when we get here. But then people shit on it. They basically throw garbage into the subconscious mind through the hypnotism that we have in the matrix, in the third-dimensional realm, that is not based on your well-being, your desire to succeed and grow. You're basically taught to be a slave. You're programmed what you like, what you don't like, what you're supposed to eat, how you're supposed to walk, how you're supposed to talk, how you're supposed to screw. So you're usually carrying out somebody else's program that has been auto-suggestion that's been planted in the subconscious mind. That's why it's so important that we really need to start looking at our behavior, how we think, how we act, how we see ourselves, what we wear, how we talk, how we walk, what type of relationships that we have subsisted in that have caused us to fail and create bondage for us. Because when you start to put things or you are off guard, so you get hypnotized, and you get subliminally programmed by other people or conditions, and this stuff goes into the subconscious mind, then all it does is starts to attach to your emotions and your psychic, subtle, emotional, and spiritual and mental bodies, and it starts to create an entity field. It actually starts to create a field in your chakras and your auric field that reverberates around your body that starts to project information, project a certain aura, project a certain code that many of us don't know about. You wonder why people are repelled by you. Certain people are turned off. They don't want to be around you. You wonder why somebody else, people can never get enough of them. They're absolutely irresistible. That is actually coming from the pool of consciousness, whether it's false or imagined, or if it's real, that has been programmed into the subconscious mind. That's why we have to start catching it now. We have to be responsible for our thoughts, responsible for our actions, and learn to analyze, critically analyze and think about what we think, what we believe,
who we deal with, their thought patterns, and their beliefs, and why we associate with them and have them in our experience. And then you have to realize that because the subconscious is not rational, the subconscious does not know right or wrong. It just manifests whatever thoughts that you have allowed to filter into it and then to stay there and to grow and to take root. That's how many people will attempt to do something. Your subconscious will talk you out of it. You'll start hearing thoughts in your mind, so you're so hyped up and excited about something, and people will start to talk you out of it. And then the same thoughts they're giving you will go into your subconscious mind, and then your subconscious mind will start to give you images and start to make you remember when you failed, when you tried to do the same thing. Or when somebody else or 5 other people told you the same thing that this person just told you, and because you already have a low level of self-esteem, and you put yourself down and you've always felt like you were a failure because your mother and father said it, or other people said it, or you never got a husband, or you never kept him, you never kept a wife, it was always drama, it was always conflict, it was always some type of domestic dispute, then your subconscious mind will start to lock into those thoughts you already have there, and the thoughts you have with other people that said you're a failure, or you can't do this, or this will never happen, why don't you sit down? Because they can't see this vision for you. And the emotion's so strong, wrapped around that auto-suggestion in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind says, okay, make it real. Because it doesn't know that it's supposed to encourage you to win because you have so many negative failure thoughts lodged in your subconscious mind. So it just radiates its thoughts out into the dimension, vibrating on that frequency that is in the same subconscious mind of other people that are vibrating in that pool of consciousness. And then they say, okay, let me line up in a place, in a mind, in a time, so that I can be drawn physically into the holographic third dimension of this person's world so that I can reinforce the bullshit that is in their subconscious mind. You all need to think about that are students of the science of mind and metaphysical laws of attraction and thinking and growing rich. Because me and many of us that are listening to this show or that will listen have systematically sabotaged ourselves and put ourselves in a prison of poverty and failure and disappointment with relationships or projects that we started, and we didn't realize that we were the kings and the queens of our own minds, and we were not the guardians of our subconscious mind. We did not guard the fruit of our mind. Somebody else was guarding it while we were off guard. And since we didn't babysit and shape and mold that mind, we were hypnotized, humiliated, degraded, and criticized by a source outside of ourselves that subliminally seduced us through pleasure or excitement to fail. And once we realize that, then we realize that you have to fine-tune your mind because your mind is just like a highly tuned engine. You have to clean it a certain way. There's certain parts that need to be changed, need to be greased. It needs to move a certain way when it's turned on. And not anybody can operate on a Ferrari. Not any and everybody can't deal with a BMW. They're not trained to do it. Just because they operate on both wagons don't mean they can automatically go to a certain car that I think Ferraris or some of those cars, it's only a certain amount of those that are produced a year. And some of those high-line cars, you got to be on a certain waiting list, and then you got to qualify, got to make a certain amount of money before they even make one of them cars for you. Do you think they're going to let anybody operate on those, go in there and clean the motor and replace it and change out parts? No, that's not going to happen because they realize what they have created from their subconscious mind. Pulled out of the subconscious mind, got a physical image, drew that image once they visualized it, and then created a prototype so they can focus their energy and all that intention on the prototype, and then in the third dimension find the parts and the tools and the people to manifest that into a reality so that people can actually drive the idea that came from the infinite pool of God consciousness in the subconscious mind. So we have been driving ideas that are in the pool of our subconscious mind that have caused us to drive ourselves into poverty, misery, and failure and hell. That's what we have to see. It's time for us to take control of our minds and realize that we are supposed to guard the gates of our minds. And now we have to actually go in there and do mental house cleaning, mental, spiritual, and emotional house cleaning. And I also wanted to say that ties into sex. And it ties into your body. Because every sexual experience, every orgasm, every ejaculation, every way that somebody touched you on a positive or a negative level, not only did it affect you with what they said and what they didn't say and how they did and didn't say it, but also in your body tissue. And as I said earlier, the cells in your body that make you look solid are really hollow inside, but the vibratory rate is moving lower and a little bit slower to make you look solid. But when you look at those under a high-power microscope, cells inside are hollow, and they're vibrating around the nucleus. So there's a certain level of energy that vibrates around them. So you have these hollow spaces in your cells that make you look like a solid person, and they hold energy. And within that energy field are thoughts wrapped in emotion. And the thoughts that you have wrapped in emotion that are locked in the hollow crevices of your cells that make you look solid are projecting a certain image and are projecting information about you 24 hours every day. And we carry an energy. I want you to start looking at people today. Just start studying them. Look at how they walk, how they talk. Are they hunched over? Is their head tall? Is their back straight? Do they have a lot of sexual, mental, and emotional confidence? And then what type of conclusion have you drawn about this person that you don't even know based on the way they carry the energy in their body, based on the way they move and don't move their body, based on the way that they carry their face or when they open their mouths to speak? Because it will tell you a story. Many of us have sexual anxiety and tension because of the subliminal programming in our minds. Many of us still have issues about ejaculation and orgasm and the spiritual rightness and even being balanced in the way that we have orgasms and ejaculations. So one exercise, which I've mentioned this before about body language and body memory, is that it's really important for us women that when you are dealing with cleaning your mind and changing your relationships, it's very important how you hold and jack a man's dick. Yeah. Because that's also dealing with the law of attraction and subliminal programming. You can tell a lot about a man the way you jack his dick or the way you hold his dick. First of all, you need to look at the design of it. I would even see, you should do a hobby, do a project where you should actually get a piece of paper and a pencil and draw his dick. Make him sit there naked. If you're comfortable with him, he should be comfortable with his body by now if y'all fucking. Or pull his pants down or his underwear down and just get very comfortable with looking at this man's body, looking at his attitude about his body and the energy that his dick is giving off. Because, see, people don't realize that men's dicks give off energy. And it's on a certain vibrational level. There's a field of energy that it has, whether it's high and whether it's low. Look at it when it's soft, when it's not hard. See how it's laying. See if there are any curves in it. Moving from the left to the right, it's motherfucking leaning. It's laying straight down. Look at how his nuts. Make him stand up. Look at how his nuts and shit hanging. See if that sack long, one nut long, one nut drawed up in his damn ass like one short. Is he just got one nut? If he got one nut, was he born with it? Did something happen to the nut? Make it damn disappear? You need to look at his nuts as they real damn long, like damn horse nuts or something, just laying down like they about to hit his damn kneecaps. Because, see, there's something off there. There's a problem, And a lot of times, unfortunately, we haven't been taught these things, but I'm telling you this because there's an energy associated with the way a man's dick and nuts hang. And it could tell you a lot about his health, his diet, and his nutrition, and does he come too much? Because many of these men shooting off damn high and low, like they dick is a goddamn water hose, just skeeting it around like they watering some damn grass. That's all they want to do, just skeet shit out all the damn time. Don't put nothing back in. They're not balanced. They're not they already tell me you're not psychologically well. You're not mentally, emotionally balanced when a man got long, uneven-ass nuts just swinging back and forth like that, and his dick always he always coming. That tells you where his mind is and where his mind is not. So you want to start actually feeling him. You want to take time to get into this man's mind and see what is in his subconscious. See, people, we're not taught to realize that when you are sexually involved with somebody, or when you're preparing to be sexually involved with somebody, you are actually tapping into more than just his dick. This is more than just a sexual experience, because this person is starting to reveal the spiritual, mental, and emotional bodies that he's carrying, because he is more than the third-dimensional flesh body that you are seeing. And if he has a God consciousness in his subconscious and that energy is clean and pure moving through him, and you can tap into that energy actually when you're touching or milking his dick. Now, when I'm saying milking his dick, I'm not talking about just jacking him off, because when you're milking a man's dick, there's a spiritual, a mental, and emotional reason for milking a man's dick. He also gets sexual gratification and pleasure because it feels good to him, but you're not milking his dick to bring about an orgasm or an ejaculation. You're not trying to make him shoot off. You are actually using this, and it's a meditation where you're actually relaxing and you are studying this man's anatomy. You are studying, you're tapping into his energy field to see what he believes and does not believe about himself and what he believes about you and the bond. Because even if you're just screwing somebody for the night or once a week and it's just a sex thing, y'all just hooking up, that's still a bonding, whether it's on a high level or a low level. You want to be able to tap into that pool of consciousness that is in his subconscious mind to see if there's garbage back there, if he's constipated in his subconscious mind, because that is going to manifest in his sperm. And unfortunately, we have not been taught about the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual aspects of a man's sperm, because sperm has an energy and sperm has a consciousness behind it. So in healing yourself and dealing with the garbage that is cluttering and clogging the God stream of infinite consciousness in your subconscious mind, and learning how to guard your mind and stop letting people and TV and all this kind of shit hypnotize your damn mind when you're not on guard, it is very important for your own health and well-being. And while you're in a state of transforming and cleaning your own consciousness and rewriting your present and reshaping your future, you definitely want to tap into the pool of consciousness that is in the subconscious of the man mind. You jacking, fucking, and sucking, and you are letting him ejaculate sperm. I don't care if he's ejaculating sperm in your mouth, your hand, inside of a rubber, in your vagina or your asshole. This is still something that can be very devastating to you and where you are going, and it can actually be a hindrance and an impediment to you because you don't really know this man's dick inside and out. You haven't studied his agenda. You don't know what he's about. You don't know where he's been. You don't know his level of consciousness. You don't know his level of awareness, nor do you know his lack of his level of awareness and how low he truly is and where his dick like to go. Because when you realize that you are in control, you're in vaginal power, and even when a man realizes he is in penis power, he studies that woman pussy. And he makes sure he know her in and out to see if I want to put my dick up in this here. if this can really be something significant for me. I'm looking for a certain type of woman. Have I found if I go up in this? Men need to do the same thing. I tell my son the same thing that I'm telling us girls that we need to know. Because if his agenda is not right and his vibration is low, he don't know whether he going to come or he just want to come and then damn go, then this is going to stream up again into the pool of your subconscious mind, and it's going to create blocks in your circuitry so that you really cannot flow as effectively as you need to flow. And it amazes me when women will come to me and they say they want a reading or they want to talk to me about a particular man and say, you know, I don't know if he's cheating on me because, you know, he was cheating on another girl to get with me, and I know he cheated behind her back to see me, and, you know, I think about I want him to myself and I want to marry him, and now that we're together, you know, I don't trust him. I wonder if he got somebody else because he don't always answer that phone at a certain time of night. You know, he'll say he's busy, he don't call me, and we usually talk every night. And my question is this, wait a minute, okay, you fucking somebody, they done put their dick way up in your pussy, so basically without a rubber, you done suck their dick, they done skeet it in your mouth, and ate all out your ass and everything. Then lay with you, play with you, slept in your sacred space. You can't go up no higher in somebody than putting your dick in their pussy. That's close you can damn get, unless you're a baby up in them, and then they had to put a dick up in you to put that there. And you have not sensed anything about this individual. You've been closer to him than I have. And you did not read the consciousness of his mind, his body, and his spirit. That's about as deep as you can go. And it's absolutely amazing that we don't do our homework. You are that close to somebody, they done came all over your damn body. They done made you come on every level of your body, and you're feeling incredible, and you're saying you're feeling something so deep that you ain't never felt with nobody else. You want to marry this person, but you don't trust this person, and you don't know why you don't trust this person. You don't have any evidence of what you say you don't trust, but you also don't have any evidence of what you say you need to see. And the woman that's in her right mind, that tell me she's not in it, she in her right mind, because a woman in her right mind will be able to discern effectively because sperm has electromagnetic energy in it, because sperm is alive. And sperm is an extension of a man's mind. Sperm is an extension of a man's consciousness. And you're touching this, you're feeling this, you're tasting this, you're looking at it, and you're looking at him, and you still have not figured this person out yet. You don't know what the agenda is and where they're going, and you haven't determined where you want it to go. So this sperm playing loop-de-loop, in and out your damn holes like it's on a damn racetrack, just zooming in and damn out, doing all kind of figure eights and shit up in your ass and all in your damn mouth. Done ran all through your brain, because the sperm done went all through this man's body before it shot out of his dick to get to you. So it has the electromagnetic field, the subatomic particles of all the DNA that is associated with who he is and what he is manifesting, and even what he's not manifesting on a third dimensional realm, what he has psychically, mentally, and emotionally embedded in his codes. And the woman is the creator of this, because he came out of a woman. All men came out of women. And then women came out of themselves, because women give birth to both of them. And you have not achieved mastery over this man's dick. And he is in your sacred space. Not only is he in your sacred space inside of your pussy, but he is in your sacred space inside of your mind, inside of your physical home that your third dimensional projection resides in. So that means you're supposed to be in control of what is in your subconscious mind, and you're supposed to take what's in your subconscious mind, bring it to your conscious mind, and be able to manifest a certain reality according to your will, since you're the divine creator on the third dimensional realm, but you have failed to execute that purpose of being a divine creator because you don't know you're a divine creator, and you done goddamn jacked on somebody and choked somebody nuts and dick waiting for them to fucking tell you who the fuck they are. When they got their identity through a woman pussy. So that means your pussy is blind and sleep. You got a deaf and dumb pussy. Your pussy is retarded. See, this here is the kind of shit that we need to be damn looking at. We really need to be figuring ourselves out here because we're not winning in these kind of calm damn relationships. I don't know here what he doing. What it gonna be? Why I want this and I want that? Because our mind is damn retarded. Yes, I'm a woman and I'm saying this about us women. This is a time of transformation and revelation and illumination in the consciousness of men and women. And it's a lot of men that don't like this. It's a lot of women that don't like this. They don't like me, don't like my message, and don't want to hear anything that I have to say. But at the same time, there's a growing number of us that realize something is wrong, and we are out of balance, and we are anti-nature because we are going against ourselves, and we don't know how we are designed because we have not mastered our own mind. And that's why I'm saying this to you. We have to master our own mind. Yes, songstress, deaf, and that's what my grandmama said, not deaf and dumb, deaf and dumb, young, dumb, and full of damn calm, and is retarded in the damn mind, and it's retarded showing up in their ass. You know, and they getting these damn retarded niggas that's goddamn backwards dicks, you know, that's leading your ass to damn hell. With Miss Mel, well, we love you. Some of us want to continue. Yeah, I know that you want to continue to heal, but I'm just saying it's just like, you know what, it's the same, like we're transforming now, and for us that want to move, we are changing, and we are getting these revelations, and we're realizing now the spirituality of pussy and dick, because we don't want to believe that pussy and dick is spiritual. People don't want to tell you that, and they say, oh, my God, she is vulgar. How dare she say that your vagina has a consciousness and a man's sperm has a consciousness, you know, and he has a mindset. He's supposed to carry himself a certain way. A man is supposed to be so in tune with his sperm that he's supposed to know. He's supposed to grab his own dick. A man is supposed to milk his own dick because that's also a very powerful point of manifestation. This is a part of sex magic because when you have sex, it's a very powerful spiritual, sexual ritual, and you become electric. You start vibrating on a different level, even if a person is low. They have a very low mentality. They don't realize that the spiritual part of them is being activated. The pineal, the pituitary, the hypothalamus, all the parts of your central nervous system that contain your glands and your nerves are starting to activate, and they start to goddamn open up. Well, all other shit start to happen that you don't even realize is happening because a shift is occurring in your mind that creates the release of certain hormones that creates a shift in your consciousness, but it also starts to open up chakras and auric fields that you don't even know exist and start to tap into the spiritual, mental, and emotional bodies that are connected to your third dimensional projection that looks like solid flesh that also taps into heaven. It taps into heaven or it taps into hell. And it's based on the pool of consciousness that is streaming in your subconscious mind. So people wonder why I have incredible sex with this man, but then we get out to bed, this motherfucker beat my ass and go back home to all these different women, or he like to suck dicks and damn eat clits at the same time. It's like I don't understand it. There's got to be a powerful connection. I know this is my soulmate because the sex is off the chain and we get along when we in the bed, but we can't see eye to eye when we out of the bed because you just had a higher level and a lower level fucking experience at the same time. Somebody's mind is not in tune. Somebody's mind is not vibration in the same damn dimension and the same galaxy. And when you open it up, although this is a low-level sex experience that you have, it is still a higher level sex experience that you're having, because when you're opening up and your subconscious mind, and you're tapping into the filth that is in the infinite pool of consciousness streaming in the subconscious mind. It is tapping into a lower vibration energy and entity field. So that's why this man cannot relate to you on a higher spiritual level. So you are still having sex ritual magic, but it is a ritualistic sex abuse because he's pulling sexual energy out of the pool of the pussy mind and the womb consciousness of the female creator, and he's defiling her because he's not putting back a balanced vibration. When a man dick go in your pussy, he is supposed to tap in to the pool of infinite consciousness connected to your vagina, your uterus, and your subconscious mind, but he is also, his penis is supposed to be like a crystal wand. He's supposed to balance the energy field in your vagina, so he's tapping into and pulling in, but he is also tapping into, as he takes spirit into himself, he's supposed to give back spirit into the womb of the goddess, of the creator. So because many of us are retarded and we don't know that we're divine, we don't know that we're goddesses, we're waiting for a man to make up his mind and tell you, I want you, I'm going to marry you, I'm going to commit, we're going to move in. You're waiting for him to do that, and you're getting fucked up. And you're getting dysfunction because many times men subconsciously know, as well as a lot of them consciously know, when a woman is in her creative power, when she is magic, because she realized that she's the creator, and he knows when she's blind. He can look in her eyes, and he can tell if it's goddamn bubbles in her fucking head. He already know she gonna blow on her dick, and he gonna shoot cum in her face and her mouth, like he got a goddamn wand blowing off damn magic bubbles in her fucking face. He know when he done tracked up on a damn fool. He knows when he is not knocking on the fucking door of a damn goddess, because when he knock on her head, it sounds like a goddamn mannequin. And if he is not divine, he's going to basically jack off on her, pull all the energy out of her, and leave her hollow, like he found her. Because many women pussy is damn hollow. All you blow up in them and shit, it's just a damn echo. It ain't no solid womb up in there because she's asleep. She doesn't realize she's the divine creator. But many of these men are trying to tap into the God consciousness in a woman's pussy, and they don't consciously know it. They just subconsciously know that there's a need, I have to go up in a woman's pussy. That's why a lot of times you'll see men addicted to sex, and you're like, this is a nasty, filthy motherfucker. Every time I turn around, he got to fuck something. He got to fuck somebody. He done fucked her, and you thought he'd be satisfied with her. Now he fucking something else, so they always cheat. And consciously they don't know, well, it's just a dog in me. It's just a man got to be a man. Every man doesn't do this. But you would think that every man does it because a high percentage of them are attracted to someone. There's not a spiritual, mental, emotional connection. It's a connection on one level. She might have money. She might be sexy. She got a fat ass, whatever. It's usually not a 360-degree decision on all the levels of this man. It's only on one level or two levels. The rest of the levels don't line up and don't match. So he go up in her. Many times he thinks he's found heaven. The shit wear off. Now he's bored. His dick is lonely. He want to go turn some tricks. Just like you see these dogs throwing sticks at them, they run at sticks. Then they get tired of sticks, you throw them something else, you throw them a ball. They dicks want some new tricks to goddamn spin and shit. So they go pick another woman. She draws them in. They think, I can find this in her pussy. I can find heaven in her pussy, because they know subconsciously there's a certain energy. There's a certain vibration they get by going up inside of a woman's vagina. And many of them never get what they're searching for. So they are longing. Subconsciously, they're trying to long to find the goddess inside of this female creator. And many times these women got dead pussies, damn dark pussies that look like damn hollowed out caverns, because they're trying to find it in a man's dick. And they don't know that they are the creator. So there's supposed to be magic that occurs when a dick and a pussy connection is initiated. So when a woman is powerful, a man can see it in her eyes. He can feel it in her energy. And he knows there's something else. I don't just want to sleep with her. Some of them just might, so you need to be on guard. But some of them, like, I know there's something deeper, and they know that they have light in them. There are a lot of men that know they're righteous. They know they deserve a certain kind of woman. They know they're not supposed to lay with anybody. So when they have sex with this type of woman, while she is fucking him, she is creating. It is just like when you look at two snakes fuck. They wrapped around each other, look like two damn ropes. They toss and turn like they fighting. But they are in a fight for transformation and illumination because they know they have to line their bodies up so that the snake's penis can tap into the female snake's vagina and he can transfer the sperm. So they have to be twisted a certain way. And it looks just like the kundalini, the serpent twisting. The same Egyptian symbol that you see, the caduceus, is supposed to be for medicine, which was our symbol. They're saying Imhotep was the first doctor of medicine, and that was our symbol. Those snakes intertwined around the rod also mean something deeper because they represent the DNA and they represent the Kundalini energy. So when this woman is a creator and she's in her higher awareness, she's in her God and her goddess consciousness, and she's aligning with the masculine part of her God self. And they're mirroring each other. Have mercy. She's supposed to put some shit on his ass because she is in full 3 levels of goddamn power when she's fucking a man from that place of power. Because she's not fucking him from a place, I hope he like it. I hope I suck his dick right. I hope my pussy good. I hope I know how to work it to make him want to come back. You don't hope a goddamn thing when you're moving from the place of a feminine creator and you know that the creative principle comes out of the womb of the female. And you don't pick the types of sex relationships and the types of dicks that's going to sabotage your pussy. Because men and women is setting their own goddamn pussy up for sabotage because you are not picking men that have the light of God in their eyes and that have a God consciousness in the infinite pool of consciousness that's in their subconscious mind. And you can tell this, how he eats, how he walks, how he talks, how he speaks, how he has sex with you. What type of behavior is he exhibiting before the physical sex act and during the physical sex act and after the physical sex act? Because if he's a God and he is walking in those principles, not only can he quote scripture to you and tell you based on what he's been taught by Nubians or Hebrew Israelites, he's not just operating from a biblical place. He's also operating from a spiritual place, and the way he speaks to and treats his woman, and even the way he interacts with women that do not belong to him, because he knows that there is a cosmic and a spiritual agreement that he also has to fulfill in the third dimensional realm with how he engages and uplifts and treats the goddess mind. Because he's a God, but he's an extension of the goddess mind that is the creative force that he aligns with in the third dimensional realm. And he knows that sex is not first spiritual. It's first a cosmic dance and the meeting of the minds. So he has to have foreplay, and he has to seduce her and groom her as well as she do with him. It's a whole dance you have before you get to the bed. And that dance may start 2 weeks before y'all physically fuck. May start 2 days, may start 24 hours before you physically get into the arena, because there's a certain preparation, because it's a sex ritual. And you already know the agenda before you lay down. But the woman is the one that's in power. I was telling you the woman's missionary style, she on her back. Now the woman need to put the nigga on his back, because he's in her domain. Because heaven and hell reside within the womb of a woman. All universes are in her womb. And if a man wants to bring his spirit, or bring the spirit of a god or a goddess through his sperm into the third dimensional womb, into the third dimensional realm, he has got to bow to the womb of a female creator. And he has to be careful about who he bows to, who he ejaculates in. Because you got a lot of these children walking around here cross-eyed with goddamn bifocals on, thick as a damn Coca-Cola glass, stuttering, slipping, damn stuttering. Can't damn keep their train of thought. Ignorant as hell. Do any and every kind of goddamn thing. All you got to do is suggest the shit or expose them to the shit. These children coming out these women's ass is damn retarded. They'll go for anything. And that make you wonder what kind of laboratory was in the mind of this damn female creator when she took this kind of damn animal on. Because almost giving birth to shit that's not acting like it's damn human or projecting itself, you know, and having a spiritual basis or God and goddess consciousness that's being turned on and activated and illuminated while it is in the cosmic laboratory of the female creator. I don't know, you know, I think it's a little bit of both. It's not just the woman, but it's also the male that she's taking sperm from. But still, the woman, when she is in her power and when she knows she's greater, she's not going to let any and everybody ejaculate shit in any damn hole in her body. She's going to be discerning about what type of bloodline and genetic coding that she allows into her laboratory, that she allows to line up with the star seeds that is in her womb. So as I said at the beginning of this, and I'm saying now at the end of it, it starts off with the womb mind. Start with the consciousness of that woman and what is in there, and that determines what she attracts and what she creates. So if y'all have any questions or any comments, you can ask them now. Yes, I'm sharing. Or if I unmuted the lines, if anybody's on the phone, or anybody want to ask a question or make a comment on the phone, they can at this time.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
You sound like you are so exhausted.
Huh?
You sound like you are so exhausted.
I'm okay. I mean, this is where I just felt like I needed to go with this because then I have to do the next show where women, we have to learn the way we touch ourselves because we actually create sex magic with ourselves and sex magic with our men.
Yes, that's going to be very interesting. Very interesting.
So that's why I brought it up about how we think and how all of this stuff and the way we're manifesting in relationships and the way we're manifesting with men and the kind of men we got and the kind of men we don't get all stems from the creative principles and actually a lack of knowledge or misuse or letting other people actually train and mold our minds.
Yes, that's very true. I heard what you said. It's very good information. It's well needed because, like you said, a lot of these women get with these different men, and you know, women they get with these different women, don't know nothing about them, think that's the one for them, and you know, they're really not. But very interesting. I'm really just gonna go ahead and finish listening.
Girl, I'm about to wrap up. Like you said, I've been talking about. I didn't read the chapter because it got into chapter 3 and chapter 4, so I have to get into it the next time because I like to try to break it down. My audience that I know is really serious and likes to listen to me. I don't just want to read a book and make them think about Think and Grow Rich is about having money only and just attracting money because a lot of us, especially we dealing with people of color, we have been oppressed so much and we have been misled and misguided so much, and we've been taught to look down on ourselves and accept poverty and accept hardship and not accomplishing things or being at the bottom, and we have to go in there and be aware of it, and we have to start cleaning that stuff up in our head because it does affect our money, it does affect our love, it does affect our children and the way that they see us or don't see us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like to try to break it down like in real life, examples, things that they know about, things that they can see and things that they can experience because I have a lot of women, very powerful women that are just realizing because we've been abused and abandoned by our mothers and left by our fathers and created so much dysfunction in our life with the kind of relationships we chose. We didn't know we were setting ourselves up for failure, and they're really wanting to heal themselves. They want to grow and they want to learn. So that's why I thought I would just come from this place with it because a lot of us are still uncomfortable touching our bodies, loving our bodies. We're uncomfortable touching our men, building spiritual, sexual bonds with our men. And a lot of our men are probably thinking that we crazy if we say, look, I just want to milk your dick. I'm not trying to get you off. I'm not trying to make you ejaculate. There's a spiritual reason. There's a spiritual purpose behind me doing a milking on your penis and actually doing breath work and focusing and exercising while you are milking that man's penis. To actually, it's so important, ladies, if you have one, and even if you don't have a man right now, it's still good to start practicing, either get a penis from, the sex shop, start lubricating it, and you want to realize that this is a bonding that you do with your man, but it's also a bonding that you do with yourself, because the way you breathe, the way you touch him, the way you interact with him is very important. Because when you're touching him, before you touch him, you actually want to get yourself in a state of mind. You actually want to hypnotize your own self to get in a very spiritual place of mind, to where you are dropping any hang-ups you might have, any restrictions you might have, the right or the wrong of it, because it's not about what anybody else taught you that's right or that is wrong, because your only objective is to help to free this man's mind and to illuminate his consciousness and open his spirit up so that he can realize, it's very good, too, when a woman is sucking a man's testicles or massaging his testicles as well as sucking them, and even lifting the testicles, going up underneath the testicles where there's like a little space of skin there before you get to the anus. You want to actually massage that, but the man has got to get over whatever hang-ups he has, because some men are like, oh, that's some homosexual shit. She ain't going to massage my ass. She ain't going to massage around my rectum. But if you would look at the sexology of the Tao, which deals with Asian sexuality and health, they're saying that it is very spiritual to take one finger and lubricate the finger, not put it all the way up there, but for a man to slightly gently insert it into his anus, like into the rectum, to feel and massage the prostate, that it actually stimulates the energy of the prostate and wakes it up, and it helps to prevent prostate cancer. So if a man's not comfortable with a woman doing that, he can actually do it himself, or even when a man is cleaning himself and having bowel movements, to make sure he's clear, to just half the tip there, or a soft cloth that's wet or lubricated to really make sure that you're clean. Get all the debris from around there. See, those are very powerful energy centers. So this is not just about, like, I'm not trying to be perverse or just sexually arousing or having ejaculation. This is also for spiritual, physical, and mental, emotional health, to help to open him up, because your sex organs are one of the most powerful energy centers that we have. That's the first chakra, the second chakra, and it deals with production, reproduction, and creativity. Because if you do this to him in the morning time, or you even milk him at night, and when you milk him, it's not always to bring him to orgasm, unless that's just what you want, to cause him to ejaculate. You want to actually focus your mind and build yourself up. It's so important for a woman to even touch herself, feel herself, masturbate herself before she goes in to milk this man's dick, because you want to be vibrating and projecting so high that when you come in, he's just feeling all of this intense and elevated energy in you. I would even say you get you an oil, or get a loofah. You can do an Epsom salt scrub, a sea salt scrub. You can do it even with him. Do it by yourself. You want to do it separately and do him after you milk him. And it feels really good. You can get a whole bunch of Epsom salt, like 2 big bags, 2 big cartons of Epsom salt. You get in the bathtub, but you just use a little bit of water, just enough water to cover the bottom of your body, because if you put too much in there, it's going to melt the Epsom salt. And you want to have it so just enough to wet the salt, but not to dissolve it. So when you wet it, you can dip down and get handfuls of the salt, and it's chunky, and you want to wet your body, and you want to lightly scrub your body, all your toes, between your toes, your ankles, your feet, your kneecaps, your butt, and too, it's a good exfoliant. You want to scrub yourself down lightly, because you don't want to tear your skin or irritate your skin. and it helps to speed up your circulation. It's really good for your skin and releasing toxins. So after you do a light scrub and you feel comfortable, you've done your whole body, then if you want, you can fill the tub up with really warm water, soak in the Epsom salt. It helps pull out more toxins out of your body. You want to light a candle, dim the lights. You want to put a little incense, nam champa, any spiritual incense that you like that can raise your vibration. And then you want to take like an almond oil or light olive oil that you've warmed, and you put things like lang-lang, maybe a little cinnamon, maybe a little orange oil, a little peppermint, a little eucalyptus, because those things will help to soothe you, calm your nerves, as well as raise your vibration, get you more into a spiritual place. You can actually rub and massage yourself down and actually milk your man's dick naked. You know, have him in a sea salt is very, very good. And then you're using those very powerful spiritual oils that open up your chakras and your energy field. Now, don't put this shit on that man nuts. Because you put some of that goddamn peppermint, that eucalyptus on that man around his ass, he going to be goddamn hollering and squirming, and them goddamn nuts going to be on fire. So I'm just saying, make sure don't touch him with them that essential oil and shit. You just get yourself in your mood, get yourself in your zone. Be focused on what your objective is, to raise this man's vibration and to open up his chakras and his auric field. Because a lot of men have sexual hang-ups or tension in them that has not been released because the right woman don't know how to tap into that ass and goddamn make him shoot off like he need to shoot off, and really just help him to be comfortable to breathe and raise his vibration. So when you're massaging him, don't put the essential oils in whatever oil that you're going to use to really gel his dick. And you want to have by the bed some, nice white towels. You even want, if you want to warm him up or relax him, and you want to have a nice basin of warm water beside it, because you just want to dip that, towel in that water to lightly wash him off, or actually wrap his dick in a warm cloth. To warm him up and warm your hands up and keep the warm oil beside you. But see what I'm saying? See, you're building a particular energy. You're creating an aroma. You're creating an atmosphere that is very sensual, that's very soothing to him, and it's very spiritual to him. You're raising that vibration. You even turning your cell phone. So you got to turn your damn cell phone when you do this shit, too, because he is going to feel that. And men are more turned on by you massaging their dick, or sucking their dick, or sucking their nuts, playing with them and shit, goddamn putting your teeth on them and humming on them motherfuckers like you trying to goddamn vibrate an organ, making them motherfuckers goddamn tingle and swell up and quiver and shit, when he knows that this is what you love to do. When he knows that you really enjoy this. This man saying, I had a country woman put ice cream on my dick and suck it off with ice cubes in her mouth that was melting. The feeling was good. So it says no peppermint peanuts. Well, now if you want peppermint on your dick, then pour the shit on there and you see what I damn talking about. Call me back when I had a show again, and let me know what it felt like for that man to let some peppermint oil get around his dick and his ass. And yeah, I said about them long sagging nuts. Something wrong with that man. His nuts is long, and they just swinging down. It's good to actually massage his testicles and up under them, but you want to be in tune. Yes, it will burn. It'll even burn your vagina. So don't put any peppermint or eucalyptus around your clit or your vagina. If you don't want any kind of problem, all I can say is, because one man told me I had made some liniment for him, and I was making liniment for my grandmother. Yeah, no Bengay around your nuts, and he had put the liniment on his knees and his legs, and he said he got comfortable in the bed, he's scratching his nuts. All of a sudden, the motherfucker started goddamn tingling. He said then they started flaming. It was real hot. He had to jump up out of the bed, and the only thing he'd do was just put some ice cold water from the toilet around his nuts. He told me because that's the coldest water he could find. So he had to sit on the toilet and just splash his nuts with that real cold water and wash them off with soap and water. He said, but if he washed them off, they were still tingling because I had put hot pepper in the damn oil. So he had some damn cayenne toasted nuts that night, yeah, and it took a few hours to calm that shit down. So I'm just telling you from experience. Don't put that shit on that nigga nuts. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he said they was flaming. They was real hot and tender to the next day. The skin was real, you couldn't touch it. He had just carry ice around on them. So you want to get yourself in that zone, and you have to deal with whatever sexual hang-ups that you have, because a lot of our women have hang-ups about sucking a man's dick, massaging his balls, nor do they want to take the time to have that type of love-making session, because a love-making session is a spiritual session. It's not about ejaculation or orgasms at that time. Y'all so crazy. Yeah, that'll make them tighten up, ghetto, and tender, make them hurt. So this is why I'm saying we have to look in our mind. This should be our homework for the next show, because I think that if you all want to know about this or are interested in this, I'm going to do more shows about us, the jelking, the milking, and then the man actually starting to open up the woman's vagina, and without trying to make her have an orgasm, although she might, but that should not be your objective at first. It is to find her G-spot, because a lot of us don't know we can squirt, and we need to learn to squirt, as well as tap into that spot, because all of those spots in our vagina and in a man's penis and in his testicles are connected to other chakras and auric fields in our body and our glands, because our sex organs are controlled by our brain and by the glands in our brain. That's why it's very important for women, for us to keep our hormones balanced so that we have our periods regulated and that we have a period every month, and to make sure we have the herbs and the vitamins and the minerals for our hypothalamus, or is it our pituitary, because we need all those things balanced in our brain. When the brain and the hormones are not being released properly and on time, then we're going to have problems with our reproductive organs and our menstrual cycle, or women have no menstrual cycle at all. They say that's normal. I know that's not normal, because from research and from other people I've been talking to, there are women in their 50s and even in their 60s in other countries still having periods and still having babies. While we over here, a lot of women here are going through menopause at 30 and 40 years old, 50 years old, going through menopause, or they're going through early menopause. It's not natural. But they'll tell you that it's natural, and if you have that in your consciousness and you have it in your subconscious mind, your brain will start to shut your shit down. It'll shut your ass down, and you'll think that that's normal to be shut down, but that's what I'm trying to tell you about the power of your subconscious mind, which is infinite. There are no limits and restrictions on it, but we're taught to put limits and restrictions on it because of the dysfunction in this matrix that has hypnotized us to believe that this is so. 917, do you have a question or comment, or are you just listening, 917?
Oh, I'm just listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you listening. So I'm going to go more into this, because we have to, before I do the next show, it's important for my people, my students that listen, we got to check ourselves. I want you to journal like you've been doing, and even talk to each other, because I know some of you in the groups have created buddies. So you talk to each other and you compare notes and you encourage each other. You do your homework together. We have to be able to master our third-dimensional world and project what we want into it. We have to master our mind and see what garbage is in there, started from our childhood, and what influences and what kind of things they said or didn't say and how they treated us, what spiritual and religious beliefs we have around sex and spirituality, and the rightness or the wrongness in wealth and prosperity. Because a lot of older black people, I grew up hearing them say that the rich are wicked and evil, and that the righteous are poor. And that's not natural. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Yes, I know a lot of rich people that are wicked. I know a lot of poor people that's dirty as a motherfucker too. So this is stuff that we believed, and now we've caused ourselves to experience things we don't like and we don't want because of the false belief system and the hypnosis. And I want you to start, like I said earlier, watching and studying people and their behavior. See what you read from their body and their energy. The men that you're having sex with, read their body and their energy, and when you touch them, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you sense? Actually diagramming and drawing that man's dick, studying him, how he lays, how his nuts hang, and then determining what his health is and what his sex background is and what his diet is or is not, because that affects the way a man's dick and nuts hang or don't hang, and the way he's responding to you, and watch his orgasms, watch his ejaculations. Is he coming too fast? Is he coming too slow? Is it a little bit of sperm? Is it a lot of sperm? You see, these are little things we haven't been taught to look at. What's the color of the sperm? What's the consistency of the sperm? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? Because that'll tell you a lot of what is in his body. What kind of diet does he have? What type of bowel movements and frequency does he have? These are the types of things that we need to know, as well as studying our own body, about our own sex hang-ups, looking at our own vaginal secretions and discharges, our orgasms, what's the consistency of those, what those look like, what our mood swings are, what our spiritual sexual beliefs are about our money and low self-esteem, and how it ties into sex in our relationships. Because I'm telling you, if you really sit down with someone that knows you, someone that's observed you, as well as you sitting down with yourself or getting a buddy and you're talking to and you go and you share these things back and forth, when you start to mirror each other, you will see very clearly a picture of what you have created right now that you say you don't want, whether it's the men and whether it's just your relationship with yourself and how you've responded to them and how you've drawn them in. And actually write down those thoughts. See, this is going to take a lot of time with yourself, and many people don't want to do that. They don't want to take time with themselves. They don't want to take effort with themselves, but nobody's going to do this for you, and I'm trying to get you to see you have the power. 225, are you just listening, or do you have a question or comment? Okay, 225, hang up. Well, I want to give everybody a chance before we wrap up to give me your questions, your comments, your feedback, because I definitely want to hear them, and I appreciate you taking time out. Yeah, that's right, the shady lady. What about a virgin who never jerks off? Can they ever reach enlightenment? Yes, because reaching enlightenment is not just through sexual intercourse, but that's one of the most powerful ways to tap in, because you're wide open within a short period of time, because you're going into sex centers that are also spiritual centers. They can start working on their spiritual, mental, and emotional body, meditation, their diet, how they think, creating what they want to create in their work, because you have to realize sex energy is not just about having sexual intercourse. You can actually hold your orgasms back. A man can hold his sperm to build up his spiritual sexual power. He can actually ejaculate instead of having the sperm come out. He has the sperm come in and go back up through his brain and throughout his body to nourish his body. Take that same sexual energy that he's feeling and use it to create a business or to get a PhD. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All these things are interchangeable. It's all fluid. Or you're saying, Mocha Son, Alexyss, I seem to attract men with a low sex drive. What's that? Well, if you have a high sex drive and you're attracting men with a low sex drive, then you have to look at your agenda and your intention and be very clear about what you want and what you don't want. And so don't focus on the men that have a low sex drive. You want a man with a high sex drive. That's all you need to think about. That's all you need to visualize, what that looks like, what that's going to feel like to you, experiencing a man with the same sex drive that you have, and then only projecting that energy. And when they come with a low sex drive, it's just like you're fishing. You pick a fish, you reel it in, it's tiny. You don't sit there and say, why did I pick this tiny fish? I don't want this tiny fish. You throw it back, put the worm back on, and then you keep fishing and focusing on or moving into the area of the water where you know that you have a better chance of attracting what you want on the hook. Because like I said, everything starts with us. So that means it's something that we're not doing. If we keep getting what we say we don't want, or you're focusing more on what they're coming to you with that you don't want instead of continuing to go within yourself and continue to focus on, keep your mind only focused on what you want to manifest. And just like if you read the book Think and Grow Rich, and you can actually look at Napoleon Hill on YouTube. They have some old videos of him, at least 30 minutes a day. He was saying, you get up, you write down your goals, you speak them when you first get up, you speak them again out loud right before you go to bed, and during the day you take 30 minutes out of the day, and you actually visualize what you want to accomplish. See it, feel it, touch it, taste it. Actually go through your mind as if you are experiencing this right now, 2009. Don't say, well, I hope I, or when I, or if I, or maybe. No, I have this right now, because your subconscious mind, I said earlier, doesn't know the difference. So you have to deprogram the subconscious and reprogram it, because it only does what you say. We all have to do that, and I have to tell myself that every day. I have to put that in my mind, because sometimes I even forget. Thank you so much, RNLA. So, yeah, if nobody's on the phone right now, yeah, they're getting ready to shut the show down. And I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad that you love the chat room. I love the chat room. I love everybody that came. Thank you for supporting me and listening to the show. And the next show, we're going to get more into the law of attraction and sex and masturbation and the spiritual aspects of masturbation and loving your partner and loving yourself. It was wonderful. Thank you so much. I had such a great time, and we're going to do this again.